Come on in, everybody. We'll be starting here in a few minutes.
Is there truth? Yes or no?
Ready, get ready. We're starting in a few minutes. We're just connecting up a couple of networks here. I think I have to fix my audio ducking though. It goes too quiet.
Is there truth? Yes or no?
And what we really want to know is
there truth? Yes or no?
I'm kind of wondering about that myself. Brought to you by Ordinary People Media. What's your story?
Survey said.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Yes, I think I do. And welcome everybody. This is Late Night with Coach Dave. Hi, I'm Coach Dave. I am your unstuck coach, and let's get to it. Tonight's show, we're going to have a special feature. You see this thing above me? It looks like a phone number. Well, it actually is a phone number, if you can believe that. And I'm going to dial that thing in right now. We have this conference that is a capability of 1,000 people to pop in this conference with us and be in this call with us. So let me dial that in, and I'm going to mute all of my other sounds while I dial that in. We have the capability to have 1,000 people in here talking at once, but are we going to let 1,000 people come in and talk with us at once? The chances are that we're not. I'm just going to tell you ahead of time. The chances are that we won't let 1,000 people on the phone lines all at one time. But you know what? We'll let a few people in here. And right now, I'm setting the phone line to a type of conference call called Q&A. And the Q&A session is now running. And so we'll be able to tell if we have callers, because I have reconfigured a couple of things here to let me know if the callers are on the call. So give us a call. Right now is the time to call us up and get on the line and get ready to talk about anything you want to talk about, because our special feature tonight is just exactly that. It's the fact that we have the ability, there's the thing right there, call in, dial the access code, press the pound key, 123, easy as that. So now is the time to call in, dial in, get all set up, and I can actually see the queue in my window right now. I'm going to scoot something over here. Okay, there's the queue right there. And as we're watching the queue to see who's coming on and who's going to talk to us, if you're here right now, go ahead and type in that you see me, and I'm just going to type hi here from the broadcaster. It's going to say restream, most likely. There we go. Actually, it's going to use my name. That's even better. So it looks like we have all kinds of people, networks anyway. We've got DLive, we've got Facebook, 2 of them. We've got Smashcast, we've got Mixer, we have Twitch, and we have YouTube. So we've got 7 networks on the hopper right now. And which one of them? Let's see. It looks like Mixer has stopped. So Mixer, sorry about that. You're going to have to come over to one of the other networks and get on. There's only 7 other places you can go. So with 8 of them on the docket, it's going to be pretty easy just to get on, pop in here, say hi. And it looks like right now, even in Facebook, we've got Devontae over there. Hey, Devontae, what's going on? And Devontae's saying, hey, it's being shared out to our 3 networks on Ordinary People Media. So we're sharing it to 3 Ordinary People Media networks, as well as the other 6 networks here. So we've got at least 9 networks that are going out to probably, we're at least in the couple hundred of people range, and maybe more depending on who shares it. If you see it, share it out. Do all this stuff over here. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, share, get notified of the next show, which means you hit the little bell icon, or in Facebook, you hit the little icon that says get notified of all the shows that we're doing. And we're doing quite a few. We've got shows for all kinds of people, all kinds of audiences, from millennials to political people to all kinds of people who just want to be entertained. It's a call-in show. You see the number up top, 712-770-5375. Dial that up and it'll ask you for the code number. So put in the code number 330619, hit the pound sign, and get ready, because you'll be put into the queue as soon as you ask to. Or you could sit there and just listen to the show. If you've got a cell phone, you'd rather listen than watch. I mean, we got some pretty stuff. We got the American flag waving there in the background, stars and stripes over stars on this side, stripes on this side. And we've got the ads going down below. You know, I want to tell you something about this square, or this rectangle down below here. This is not just send me money. This is not just send me money. This is the reason you're able to listen to this program and watch this program, is because of these ads. This is what's paying our bills, folks. There's an expense. We have to pay for internet. We have to pay for cameras. We have to pay for the lights to be on. We have to pay for the computer to be plugged in. We have to pay for the genius that put this interface together. Are you hearing me?
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Okay, so we have to pay for all that stuff, and that's really, it all comes together, and it all comes in what we know is, it's expenses. It's a TV station, sure, they have more expenses and higher expenses. They have cameras that are, I don't know, one of them probably wouldn't fit in this little studio, but this is a great studio. I'm coming at you from our bureau in Northern California. It's a studio that we've got this space. We pay for this space, and the lights are on, and the space is here, and the cameras are on, and the microphones hooked up just because of the fact that these ads are running down here, okay? It's not just a give me money scam. It's a this pays for the show that you're watching deal. Okay, I'm going to show you one of the shows that's on our network, Ordinary People Media. And Ordinary People Media doesn't just show you a show because it might be cool or something. We have our shows that have information for specific groups of people, specific audiences, and this one is for our millennials. Here's what we've got for millennials.
I stay cooler than the Chi-Town breeze, but hyper like I'm at the World Cup overseas. Do rag for waves with me, gotta stay fresh. I never leave home without it like American Express. I'm feeling kinda old school, how about you? If you're feeling how I'm feeling, this is what you do. Throw it up, 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 throw it up.
All right, and that's for the millennials. It's on Facebook Live weekly on Tuesdays, and if you check that out, Lise Winnie is bound to entertain you. She's awesome. I just love listening to her. She's got the patter down. I mean, she talks plain talk, she talks real talk, and I got to be honest with you, she doesn't take no garbage from nobody, and that's Lise. She's awesome. And she's been running shows and doing broadcasts for a long time. And she knows what she's doing. She is great.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
You know what I'm talking about? That's what I'm talking about. And I just want to know. I just have to ask the question.
Is there truth? Yes or no?
And the answer is? There you go. And there is truth. We know there is, and you can't fool us. So let me turn something off here, turn something back on. Got my editor here is indicating to me everything's going all right. So we got the right buttons turned on here. This is my command console. I don't know if y'all can see that, but this is even better than one of those Stream Deck things. I've got 40 keys. The most they give you is 35, although some of them pop into different areas and do different stuff. But I can have 40 on however many unlimited pages I want. So just a geek thing. All right, so there's a lot of stuff going on, and tonight is Thursday, which means as the end of my week on the show, we're going to do a free call-in night. It's free call-in night. You can call in and make a statement, ask a question, or just preach about something you're either in love with, upset with, or just want to make sure everybody hears. And if you have a website you want to advertise on the show, call in, tell us what website we need to go to. And, we're going to take any reasonable caller, okay? Hear that?
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Any reasonable caller, and you can call in and we'll just let you advertise. We'll let you say, hey, go over to my ISellBlueSocks.com website and buy my socks. Okay? This is free reign. It would be free reign Friday if it was tomorrow, but it's free reign Thursday because this is our Friday. So feel free to dial in. We will re-enable the audio for our dial-in website and just call in and check us out. We have a whole dial-in show waiting for you to just kind of come in and don't air your dirty laundry. We don't want to smell that. But come on in, and the number is 702-770-5375. So you can be part of that 712-770-5375. And then your participant code's 330619. And that's how you get on the show. Come on in. And since this is a talk show, we really would like to hear some talk. Okay. And that's what talk shows are all about. So guys, I don't know if I told you this. Some of you might be a little bit upset. You could see it in the hashtag for the show title. The hashtag is hashtag Trump 2020. And whether you're in favor of that or whether you're not in favor of that, it doesn't matter. You know why? Because you're not on the show telling me. That's why. Okay, so what I'm going to do, just to piss you off, can you say that on radio? I guess you can. This is late at night, so we can say some things that they can't say during the day. You know, there's a whole list of 7 naughty words you can't say on radio. That doesn't apply completely. There's a couple of them that slip out once in a while, and that's because I'm the censor, and sometimes I'm late getting to the button. You know what I mean?
Survey said.
Okay, so because we don't have anybody on the phone lines, we're going to switch it up here. Maybe somebody will come in and see my American flag waving behind me, and maybe somebody will come in and tell me to take off my Trump hat. Yes, I do have a Trump hat. I'll put the other one right here. Whoa, hold on a second. I'm going to put it right over here within reach. I've also got an American Eagle hat. Yeah, I can put that one on. We don't have people even asking me to do this stuff. You know why? Because nobody's called in yet. But I have faith. I have faith in all of you. See, we got the American flag right there. You know? So if you want me to take this hat off, you're going to have to call in. That's the only 2 ways about it, is either you call in and say, you know, put on your American Eagle hat or put on your other California hat and take that Trump hat off. But until you do, my answer is
Hell no, to the no, no, no. Hell to the no, hell to the no, to the no, no, no. Hell no, no.
Look at my hat. See that? See that hat? Yeah, that's the hat. And the only way that hat comes off is when I don't see Q is empty. So this stays on when that's empty. And that's just the way it goes.
Oh, hell no!
Oh, heck yeah, survey says. Right on. That's what I'm saying, right? That's the truth.
Is there truth? Yes or no? Is there truth? Yes. Is there truth?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes, there is. The truth is, I'm wearing a Trump hat. Trump 2020. Screen capture this and send it to me, and I'll send you $2 if you're the first one. Okay? There's a challenge right there. Screen capture this with my name so that you can blackmail me for $2. I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you. All right, so we've got all that going on. And what is today? Today is Free Reign Thursday. You thought I was going to say Free Reign Friday, didn't you? I know you did. Okay, so it says right now we have 9 networks hooked up. 9. That is awesome. The only one that didn't hook up was Mixer. Sorry, Mixer. Come on over to Twitch. You know, they're both gaming platforms. If you're on Mixer, you're probably on Twitch. All right, so we got all this stuff going, and we're still waiting for the queue. I'm still wearing the Trump hat. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to break it up a little bit here. I'm going to go ahead and go over here to our second feature. We're going to show a little bit. You know, what we all need is a little bit of common sense, right? Ordinary people, media, TV has common sense. Did you know that? Did you know that we do? Let me show you some common sense. This is Terry Little, and his show is called The Common Sense TV Show. Here's a little clip about Terry Little's Common Sense TV show.
Tune in to The Common Sense Show TV, where your host, Terry, a.k.a. The Common Sense Guru, will give you a loving, violent push into using more of your common sense. Come for the advice, stay for the laughs. live Sundays at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, Mondays and Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Come, join, share, and invite, and remember to always interact in the comments.
And there you go. That's the Common Sense TV show. Common Sense TV with Terry Little, and he's got some pretty good guests. So that's a pretty good way of, there we go. All right. So yeah, Common Sense TV show, Terry Little. Guys, pay attention to these ads down there. Have you ever seen Repurpose.io? If you're a broadcaster, you don't know about Repurpose.io, you better go there. Check them out. They are awesome. So let's check it out. Let's see who is in the conference window. And oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Oh, hell no.
There you go. Oh hell no. And the reason it's oh hell no is because I'm still wearing the Trump hat. You guys see this? See that? Trump 2020. Like that? That's pretty cool. I bet you guys like Trump. You like Trump, don't you? I mean, he's the guy. Otherwise, I'd probably be taking this hat off if you guys liked the other guy. Because then you would know that, that you can get me to take the hat off if you come in the queue. All right? So now you have to wait for it again. See this phone number up above me? It's sliding on by, and now it's off the screen. Well, if you call it, take a look. If you call the number, and you got to wait for it. Got to wait for it. So, yeah, you like the hat, don't you? Secretly, I know you do. Secretly. Devontae says he's saying hell no about the hat. Hell no. Hell no.
Hell no, to the no, no, no. Hell to the no, hell to the no, to the no, no, no. Hell no, no.
There you go. There you go. Hey, Karen, what's going on? It's good to see you. Oh, we're just hanging out here. We're hanging out here. Today is Free Reign. I was going to say Free Reign Friday. Today is our Friday on the show because today is the last day of the week. We do it 4 days a week. Today's the fourth one. So it's Free Reign Friday, even though it's a Thursday. I'm going to have trouble with my calendar tomorrow. I'm going to wake up thinking it's Saturday. I mean, come on. Saturday. Is today Saturday? No. I'm going to say, So anyway, today we're wearing the Trump hat. You like it? Does it look sexy on me? Look at that hat. Devontae says he don't like it. He says, hell nah about the hat. And I'm just challenging people. Since this is a talk show, let's do some talking. There's a phone number right up there. It's still streaming across the top of the screen here. I hope you at least like my American flag. Are y'all Americans out there? Are you proud Americans? You know, I got red, white, and blue on my shirt. I got red, white, and blue on the background behind me. I'm loving this. I'm loving this. I'm thinking if it comes down to it, I can keep wearing the red, white, and blue on the Trump hat. I got the red, white, and blue all over the whole thing. And if somebody comes on the queue, though, and if they get on the show with me and we're talking live on the show, which that's not live, that is live. Okay, I just want to make sure I can do this right. And if they come on the show with me and they tell me live on the show, please take off the Trump 2020 hat, I'll switch them out. I got my other one right here. American Eagle. American Eagle. American. You know what I mean? American Eagle. This isn't the Alabama boy American Eagle though. This is the whole dang country right here. So I got the American Eagle hanging out there waiting to be all switched on, but my challenge is to get you on the phone and to see how many people will get on the phone and talk to me. And maybe I'll even hit the switch over here that says mute off and everybody can talk at once. But right now, everybody is talking at once. Everyone who is in there is talking at once, and you're hearing all of them right now. I don't know if that makes any sense to you, but nobody in the broadcast or in the conference right now is asking me to take my hat off. In fact, the guy that's in there, he says it's a really cool hat. You want to hear him? That's a really cool hat you're wearing, Dave. See? He says it's a really cool hat. So this is my Trump 2020 hat. 45 forever. I heard somebody say that the other day. I was, well, what does that mean? 45 forever? I don't know what that means. But anyway, this is the hat that I'm wearing, and I'm purposely tipping my head down. This is the hat that I'm wearing until someone comes on the show live and says, "Take the Trump 2020 hat off, please." So that's what I'm doing. All right. So anyway, we're talking a little bit about the Ordinary People Media, which you see right there below me for a second. Ordinary People Media, this is the company, this is the parent company of what we're doing here and why we're here, because they're throwing us out there to at least 3 different audiences, plus the other 6 audiences that I'm broadcasting to here. And that makes 9. We're broadcasting at least to 9 audiences, plus whatever you guys share out. So go ahead and do that. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, share, get notified for the next show, and see everything live as it happens right here on Late Night with Coach Dave. I'm Coach Dave, and I'm your unstuck coach. So let's get unstuck together. How's that sound? All right, let me put it back to the main one. Watch this little swish across the screen. I love that. That's so cool. So, guys, this is what we're doing. We are not only on OPM. I almost said other PM, and I'm like, no, that's not right. So, Ordinary People Media, Other People's Money is what the other OPM is. And it's stuck in my brain. Devontae, we're going to have to rename this thing, because I keep thinking Other People's Money. So, yeah, it's corny. I'm a corny guy. You get to know me a little bit, and you'll see how corny I am. But, you know, it's a fun kind of corny. It's not like I'm making fun of anybody. And possibly, if somebody sends me a Democrat hat, I might put it on for a minute. But I'll tell you, in fact, I'll go buy one and get it ready, but you're going to have to pay me to wear it. How does that sound? And then no screen captures allowed. That's beyond the limits, because then you'll probably send the screen capture to me and say, "We know you're really a Democrat deep down." You can't convince me. I'm sorry. You can't convince me.
Is there truth? Yes or no?
I think the answer is yes. So that's what I'm doing. That's why I'm wearing the corny hat. And don't you love, you could go duck hunting in this hat. But remember when the president took Dick Cheney hunting, and that was not good. That was not good. I think he almost shot somebody during the hunt. They were all duck hunting. Oh my God. Do you remember that, Devontae? Oh man, what a mess. What a mess. So as a result of that, I think we're going to play some money, because I was talking about money for the hat. We're going to play some money song.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Yeah, we don't want to play too much of the dollar, because like I said last night, Facebook will say, "There's your dollar for you." All right, so Yeah, we don't want to do that. All right, it looks like we're about more than halfway through where we were last night. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to show you another feature of OPM, which is, I can't hear you, other people media. That's right. No. Ordinary people media. See, I'm confused. All right, so I'm going to show you what we've got. Again, this is E. Digger and Elise. They got a special show going on. I'm going to show you this one.
Do you love eggs at 11 a.m., but you don't have nobody to take you to brunch? Well, guess what? I got news for you. Let's day drink and have bad table manners and wake up late, all while you watch Leaf and E-Digger cut it up each week talking about hot, popular, trending topics you can watch on Facebook, on Charm City Direct TV, or the Young Black Panthers Network. It is premiering August 2nd at 11 a.m.
Woohoo! Right on, yeah. And it is on, I believe, Fridays at 11 a.m. on the East Coast. Correct me if I'm wrong, because sometimes I get my times mixed up. I get them all crossed. So, oh, your joke was corn. Well, I don't think so. All right. So. Anyway, that is what we're doing. I'm still monitoring the conference to see if anyone will take me up on it. Devontae, do you think you can get me a Democrat hat? Do you think you can get me, I don't know, who do you like best? Who do you like best, Devontae, for the Democrat presidential race? Who do you think of those people declared so far? Who do you think's gonna pull it out of the hat and be able to, what do they say, get that man out of the Oral Office? Give me a holler and let me know who you think that is, and we'll compare that. We'll try and get that comparison here set up for you guys, so you know exactly what Devontae thinks. And E Digger's out there somewhere. I know he is because I see him in chat. But we're gonna get a poll here. Let me ask you too, Karen. If the candidates that are saying they want to run today, right now, on the Democratic ticket, if they were able to, if the one you like was able to all of a sudden just get on the ticket as the Democratic presidential candidate, which one would you pick? Who do you like? Do you have a favorite? Do you have a front runner right now? And anybody else out there, same question. Type it in chat. Type a 1 in chat. Show me that we've got, I see Devontae and Karen out there. We got anybody over on YouTube or over on Periscope? Because I see some zeros on my screen right now, which just means that people are having dinner. Because right now it's late dinner time. It's 11:35 on the East Coast. Mountain time, it's probably only 10:35. Or is that, no, Mountain time, 10:35. Central, 9:35. And out here, we still got lots of, do we have daylight? No, we don't have any daylight left. I was just looking out the side window of the studio here. We don't have any daylight left. I think, there we go. I think the daylight, I have to shake this, the daylight quit at 7:54. So that was about 40 minutes ago. So that's when our daylight quit. But we're still out here and it's only 8:30, so we got lots of time. I could do this for another hour and a half, but you know what? I got this Trump 2020 hat, and I'm not taking it off. I'm going to wear this thing. I'm predicting that the Trump 2020 hat will be victorious until the end of the show. That's what I'm predicting, okay? And my predictions are usually right. Usually. So let me do a little bit of money prediction.
money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money,
Dollar, 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 dollar. Ching, ching, bling, bling, got the chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking.
Now that song is probably 3 minutes plus long, but I only played 20 seconds of it because Facebook. Okay. I wonder if that's going to be on the transcription for the show. Facebook. Or if I can talk like that and the transcription algorithm doesn't know what to do. Facebook is expensive for advertisers. I'm going to check that out later. I know. See, I told you I'm goofy. So that's where we are. We can only play some things. Looks like I have the OBS sounds enabled, which is good because my control panel has a red light for that. And then we can do all the other stuff that we want to do. And there's nobody to challenge the Trump 2020 hat. Wow! Right on. That's what I gotta say. That's what I'm saying. And the kids love my hat, don't you, kids? Right on. Do you love my hat? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I love the hat too. We could keep going on this and run this one into the ground.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
And the other thing we can do is, hey, let's do a little air guitar. All right, I love the air guitar. I love the air guitar. Or this sexy set. You know, if I was a presidential candidate or a president, I could put the glasses on and I could be like, so that's all there is for that. And it's still playing, but I muted it because we went past the, it was 10 seconds or something like that. So we can turn that back on. But yeah, you can't do anything. If somebody's down, there's only one thing to do.
Finish him.
And they just haven't been able to do that yet. That's why I'm wearing the hat. Is there anybody out there yet in the conference? Oh, no. You guys don't want me to take the hat off. That's good. Because for me to take the hat off, you got to come in, get in the conference, get on the air, and say, please take off the Trump 2020 hat. But no challengers yet. So I'm going back to my soundboard. What else do we have? Oh, this is the one.
We can't see them. They can't see us.
Ooh. And this is my favorite one. I love that. I love that. All these things. And then if you're saying some on the air, you can't say that kind of because it's outlawed. The censors will get you and shut you the up. You know what I mean? You know why?
Ain't nobody got time for that.
That's why. So anyway, and we might just run those commercials again because, you know, we've got a bunch of stuff. You have to hear more debating. Okay. You don't believe, you know, that's true. And when they're all fighting and none of them are really able to get their point across, what can you say? I know Devante likes Elizabeth Warren, and thanks. Devante likes Elizabeth Warren. He also, from time to time, says maybe either Joe or Bernie might be able to pull something off, but he kind of leans toward, if I'm right, Devante, you kind of lean towards Elizabeth Warren. And I don't know. I have a hard time, like you, Karen, I have a hard time believing any of them. It just seems like they're saying what everybody wants to hear. And if that's all you're going to do, you're going to get in the office and then change your mind on a whole bunch of stuff. And, you know, it's not going to be easy for you to steer America if you won't even come out with where you really stand. I mean, come on, guys. There's something about the word truth.
Is there truth? Yes or no?
Okay? Something about truth.
Is there truth? Yes or no?
And there is truth, but so many people, they just won't say it. They just won't say it. And if they're not going to tell you the truth and they're going to lie to you with all that other stuff and until they get it actually elected and in the seat, then they're going to change their mind. Are they going to complete anything they said while the process was going on and they were trying to be elected? Are they going to believe anything? Or are they going to just believe what they're saying or just say stuff? I don't know. Sometimes you just want to tell them, shut up! You know? And then if you can get close to them, you know, you could do some of that. So, all right. I wonder if, Devontae, if you haven't given A.D. Walker a link to this, I want you to give him a link because I am going to play, you're going to see me laugh. I am going to play the longest yeah boy ever. Okay? You're going to hate me for this. But come back to the show next week. Hate me this week. Hate me this weekend. But believe it or not, this is the longest yeah boy ever. Ready? I'm going to count it down. 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, boy!
Ow! Oh my gosh. Have you ever seen those warning things on your smartphone screen? You plug in some headphones that says, warning, hearing damage may occur if you don't turn the volume way down. What'd you say? Okay. That was uncalled for. And maybe I should have just done my no harm intended song. I'll do that one.
What you say? That you only meant well.
That's so better. So better.
What you say?
You only meant well.
That it's all for the best, 'cause it
Yeah, there we go.
Is there truth? Yes or no?
And the answer is yes. Okay. Yeah, that was the longest yeah boy. In fact, we've got a little bit of lag on the show. You know how there's 10 or 12 seconds worth of lag? I bet that when it started, that it was still going when the lag caught up to it. That's how long of a yeah boy it was. Now, my friend A.D. Walker, he doesn't do a yeah boy anywhere near that long. I don't think he could without passing out from oxygen deprivation. So that's just way too hard. Okay. And every once in a while I hear a crackle in the line. I've got a reset button for the sound engine. But yeah, that was a long yeah boy. Yeah boy. And so I'm going to go ahead and play one more commercial. I'm going to backtrack all the way back over to, I want to play Terry Little again because Terry Little's video is freaking awesome. Terry does the Common Sense TV show and it is great. He's got all kinds of guests that really have some wisdom. Terry himself, if you've ever listened to Terry, you're going to love this because the Common Sense show is Terry all the way. It is totally Terry all the way. And Terry is the kind of guy you're like, that does make sense. Why didn't I think of that? So here's the clip about the Common Sense, aka Why Didn't I Think of That show. Here you go.
Tune in to the Common Sense Show TV, where your host, Terry, aka the Common Sense Guru, will give you a loving, violent push into using more of your common sense. Come for the advice, stay for the laughs. Live Sundays at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, Mondays and Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Come, join, share, and invite, and remember to always interact in the comments.
That's right. We are back. So, if you haven't yet, please don't forget to follow, share, subscribe, like, get notified, and click the little thing in Facebook that says, I want to see every show that OPM, Ordinary People Media, got to get that on the lips. You got to prepare for that. OPM, Ordinary People Media, all the shows that Ordinary People Media show, I want to see them. So come back next week. We do this at 11 p.m. on, hold on. Yes, we do this at 11 p.m. on the East Coast, 8 p.m. on the left coast, and in the middle, you figure it out. I'm Coach Dave, your unstuck coach. Thanks for coming to Late Night with Coach Dave. We'll see you later. God bless.
Is there truth? Yes or no? Is there truth? Yes or no?
Brought to you by Ordinary People Media. What's your story? Good night, everybody.